Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand.
Yes, good evening and welcome back to the Kop TV for yet another episode of Kop to Bottom, the Premier League preview show where myself and Doylad, aka Freestyle DM, we preview 5 of the biggest games in the Premier League this weekend. Doyle, how are you first and foremost, mate?
I'm alright, lads. I'm alright. I'm actually looking forward to the weekend for once.
Yeah, no, me too,
sunny
man.
As well, lads. Sunny
The weather's
outside,
picking up. Yeah, that's it, man. The weather's
loads
picking
of
up. We can
freestyle,
get
lad. I can kick a footy.
exactly, and me and you can get back out on the pitches as well. First, before we get into the stream tonight, some really tragic news that reached us all this morning. Apologies, not the best picture, but José Becker, the father of Alison Becker, tragically passed away today. And it's just awful. It really is the most horrible news. And, you know, this is something that is totally out of the blue, but Alison will have to recover from this. And I think the club will, of course, give him all the support that he needs during this time. And if he needs time off, I'm sure they'll give him that as well. So all of our thoughts and prayers tonight on Kop to Bottom, on the Kop TV, go out to Alison Becker and all of his family. And of course, descanso en paz, rest in peace to José Becker. Right, Premier League is popping off again this weekend, Doyle. Some huge games. We're going to get into this one first and foremost. Chelsea versus Manchester United. This will be a fun one. Chelsea obviously in 5th. 4 wins in 5 now for Chelsea, Doyle. And United only 2 wins in 5. It's kind of gone from United being the form team. Chelsea obviously sacked their manager, brought Tuchel in. Now it seems to have changed the other way around. Chelsea, if they win this one, go 6 points clear of Liverpool. Doyle, how do you see it?
It's going to be a good game, of course. Tuchel's a good manager, bro. Yeah. He's brought a good philosophy into the Chelsea team. That's why they're playing well straight away. I feel like it's going to be a 2-2 or like a high score and quite a thriller game, lad. That's what I feel like it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be boring. I do see Chelsea taking it. If anyone's going to win it, Chelsea will be the team that do it, lad, just because I feel like is Tuchel played anyone proper yet? Has he played anybody that's like of note yet?
I mean, they played Atletico Madrid.
I know, yeah, and they beat them with that Giroud goal, lad, which was madness. There you go, lads. That wounded me a little bit, by the way. I'm not going to lie. When I seen them beat Atletico, and you know, we got smoked by them, but one of them. Innit? I see this one going Chelsea's way. You know, maybe 3-2 or 2-2. If anyone's going to win, it's Chelsea, but I'll say 2-2.
Yeah, Darren just joining us here on the Kop TV as well for Kop to Bottom. No worries at all. How are we, Daz?
All good in the hood, lads. No hassling the castle on my end of things. So looking forward to another great show, the Double D, and obviously the main man AGT. So good to see you, lads, all again. Looking fresh.
To see you guys. Thank you, mate. I've actually got my Spain 1994 shirt on tonight.
Classic.
So yeah, loved that. The year I was born. And funnily enough, I've actually got a
bloody Yeovil Town
shirt. Come on,
bloody hell!
Right.
That wasn't from the year we beat them in the FA Cup, was it? 2003.
No, that was 2004.
Danny Murphy scored.
Yeah, no, that was 2004. But my dad used to play for Yeovil, so it's a little birthday present for him. Triple XL. But yeah, Jamie Lane says, "You okay, Darren, lads? How are we? Ollie's inside.
All good in the hood.
Love that. No hassle in the castle." Doyle reckons.
And the answer to that is, if I wasn't a castle, there would be no hassle. Because there can't be any hassle when you're in a castle, could there?
Yeah, you say that, but Biggie once said, "More money, more problems." So think about that as well. Darren, Doyle reckons Chelsea have got this one. Obviously, a somewhat amazing record if you look at it in the last 10 years that they've had at Stamford Bridge, but not so good this season. We've won there. How do you see this one, Chelsea United?
It's a hard one to predict. Obviously, Thomas Tuchel's come in 7 games in now. He's unbeaten. They look very organised and they're a tougher opponent than what they were under Lampard. They're not as much a soft touch, but I'm going to go for a draw on this. I'm going to go for 1-1. I still think United, look, they're not great. We know that defensively, and they're at the moment 10 points behind City, but I think they're in a little bit of a false position, is my opinion. 13 games to go. we will know more about United sooner rather than later, I think. So I think a draw on this. I think Chelsea will. They drew at Southampton the other day. They would have been a bit disappointed by that, but this is going to be a big test for them, and it's probably one of the tougher games that Tuchel will have faced. Well, although they played Atletico Madrid, and they're a good opponent, but in terms of the league, 1-1, I think.
1-1. Well, listen, if it is a draw, this one, I mean, Doyle said it probably is going to be a Chelsea win. Darren going for a draw. If it was a draw, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst result for Liverpool. If anything, if we're looking at it through a Liverpool lens, we'd probably want United to maybe win this one or draw it, which sounds mental when you think about it. I mean, we have lost 7 games now, lads, 4 in a row. So yeah, let us know what you think about this one. Going to be a great game, I think. Let's get on to the next game on Kop to bottom today. It's Tottenham versus Burnley. Now, again, Burnley, a team that in eras gone by, you would say, well, this is an easy tie, really, isn't it? It's going to be totally one-sided, and we all know what's going to happen. Burnley sitting in 15th, 1 win in 5. But this season, maybe we can't say that. Tottenham themselves, again, 1 win in 5. They're sitting in 9th with 36 points. Listen, Burnley have just come to Anfield and won. How do we see this one going, Doyle?
I do think that Tottenham will probably win this one, simply because they need to bounce back against somebody, as well as the quality that they have up front is just mad, bro. They've got Son and they've got Kane. If they want to score goals, they can score goals.
Bale coming back into form as well in the Europa League.
I think coming into this game, they'll be confident that they can get a win. Like you just said, it's Burnley. But Burnley and pushovers, and we all know that, lad. They play well and they defend well. So we'll just see. But I do feel like, Tottenham, lad, maybe a 2-1 or a 3-1, something like that. He needs to bounce back. José needs to bounce back, lad. He badly needs to do it.
I mean, let's say, Darren, for this game, like I agree there with Doyle, José needs a big result. Jamie's going for 3-0 to Tottenham. If Spurs don't get a result in this one, how much longer do you reckon Mourinho will stay in this job? I mean, they haven't been playing well.
Well, I think for Spurs, and I seen you had X on the show, I know Alex, very good show, by the way. That they want the trophy, don't they? Like, it's not about top 4. Well, they want top 4 to be in the Champions League and competing financially, especially with the new stadium. But I think for them, they want a trophy. They're in a League Cup final. They're on the day in a final you can win, even though we'll all probably put our money on City that day. And they're flying in the Europa League, like they're cruised into the last 16. It's obviously going to become more competitive and tougher for them as that goes on. So they still have a chance potentially to win 2 cups this season. So I don't think he will be. I think he'll be definitely given to the end of the season. And going back to Burnley are very, very organised and good defensively. Like, I was looking there recently, they only conceded 30 goals this season. Now, you think 30, that's a lot of goals. But it's not when you look at a club like Burnley where they are in the league. I think the 15th they're 15th, 16th. And like some of the teams around, like West Brom conceded 55, Southampton have conceded more. Even some of the teams up further from them, Leeds, Arsenal, I think, have all conceded more. So that Tarkowski and the other lad, Ben Mee, they've been brilliant. Now, I know one of them is injured now, so it will have an impact on defensive, but they're a really good side defensive. They're organised, they're drilled.
They are,
they know to get a result, and we've seen them at Anfield, so I don't know. I think this could be, like, it's Thursday night jinx from the Europa League. You're high flying. You go into a busy schedule on Sunday. Right there, I'll go for Spurs to win because I do think they need to get back. But I'm gonna go for 2-1 in this to Spurs. But I wouldn't surprise me if it's a 0-0 or if only 1-0 or something. I do think Spurs badly need a win.
So I asked you for a score. You give me a Tottenham win, a draw, and a Burnley win. That's really precise, Darren.
Like 2-1 Spurs.
Could be a win, could be a loss, could be a draw. Who knows?
Bit of Mike alone there, that one.
Yeah, man. If it's not a win, it could be a draw. But if it's not a draw, well, that's for now. So
yeah.
Right, I'm going for a draw. I think Tottenham are going to bottle it again, unfortunately for them. I'm going for 1-0 on this one, lads. Let's get into the main one that we're all looking forward to seeing. I mean, guys, first and foremost, before we get into it, when you know that our fixture is the last game of the weekend, it's the complete opposite to the Everton game that was a 5:30 kickoff, but for Leicester, for example, it either ruins your weekend right on Saturday or you tease the weekend, all right up until Sunday night, and then it ruins you. Do you like playing at the last game of the weekend?
It's like every team that you don't want to win is like a little jab. If they win, it's like a little jab. And then when you get to your team, you're just waiting. Am I gonna get a knockout blow? Or are we gonna slip a jet? What are we gonna do here, lad? We're gonna slip something here, or what are we doing? You know what I mean, lad? So yeah, I hope we don't get knocked out on Sunday and just slip a little one there, lad. Because you know what? This is like a game that we should definitely 1,000,000,000% win. But even when we were flying, bro, we just about beat this team. So like, I'm a little bit worried. I'm not gonna. I can't go into any game at the moment with confidence, lad. You know what I mean?
I know what you mean.
He's going through some turmoil right now as well. Like, it's none of this is anyone's fault, lad. This is just the worst timing and the worst predicament and the worst situation. That's like, you can't get worse than this, lad.
Bro, I literally couldn't agree with you more. I tweeted earlier today. Liverpool really are on their knees right now, begging for any good news. Every day, injuries, tragedy, death, horrible. R.I.P. José Becker.
We have literally been so unlucky, lad. Like from the moment we won.
It's not even luck now, bro. It's gone past luck now for me.
It's unlucky, lad.
Luck.
It's like
this isn't luck
we weren't
anymore.
able to, like the first moments that we weren't able to celebrate our Premier League because of coronavirus and that. Ever since then, it's just been like bum 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 bum. It's heavy.
Very heavy.
We couldn't have really foreseen any of this, could we? Like, I mean,
of course not.
19 centre-back parents, the deaths to some of the,
if someone had said in September that our longest centre-back partnership of this season would be, was it Nat Phillips and Henderson? Is it that? 2.5 games? I think that's our longest partnership.
Yeah.
And if someone had said that at the start, there's no way I would have believed them. Going into this one, I know, out for the season, as is the title of this video, Henderson out for 12 weeks, which I'm going to say, I think this isn't a crazy statement to make, but we have now lost for 12 weeks, if not more, our second most influential player in our squad, in Jordan Henderson. Yeah. Obviously, Van Dijk's the most influential, but for me, Henderson, every time he is not on the pitch, I think we're going to lose. And I know we have been losing with him on the pitch, which is, not totally his fault because obviously he's not playing his position. But when Jordan Henderson isn't around or on the bench, it really scares me. And it's a horrible thought to think that we're now going to have to do what we can for the rest of the season with no Henderson. It pains me. If we're talking about form, I mean, obviously there's no secret to where Sheffield United are. 1 win in 5 for them, 11 points in total, rock bottom of the table. Only
we're on the same
wins.
form as them, lad. We're on worse form as them, so we can't even look at that.
20 losses. I mean, we've got the same form. They actually, if anything, they've won more recently than we have.
Yes, there you go.
Genuinely, they've won more recently than we have. They've lost 20 games this season, lads. Obviously, we sold Ryan Brewster to the Blades back last year, Doyle. He's obviously not performed yet for Sheffield United. This is a type of game, though, where maybe we could have done with someone like Ryan Brewster, I think.
Is it, though? Because I don't think Ryan Brewster would have
Firmino's not. For me, of course, but he could have been someone that we could have brought on after 65 minutes to replace Firmino.
I think we got Diogo Jota, lad, who was somebody to replace him, lad, and we just got absolutely injured. Absolutely injured, lad, like the rest of our squad and everybody else, and the linesman and the physio and everyone else that's injured, lad. You know what I mean? Like,
even the physios are getting injured.
Yeah, lads. It's just one of them. If this is just a season that I'm going to forget forever, I'm just never going to remember it, even though it's probably a season that we should have remembered for the
first ever year in the Nike kit. Come on, we can't forget it like that. We could win the Champions League.
It's a massive week for us, lads. There's 3 games, 2 at home, 1 away. We've had 8 days off. No more excuses. After these 3 games, we've 10 games left. So there's still a bit to play for this season, along with still, I think we'll get to the last 8 of the Champions League. But surely there has to be some reality check and a kick in the teeth from losing the derby at home. We all, this season, it's like we win a game, we all think we're back. The 2 wins we got in London, we were back. And, there was optimism there. And there was, like, some of the play, even against Leipzig, I know they gifted us 2 goals, but we were clinical tonight. We were brilliant all round, man to man. I don't know what it is, whether it's just a mental thing, it's injuries, some players are just giving up, they're over-analysing, they're not giving that first-time pass, where everything that possibly could go against us is going against us, and none of us could foresee that. But there just comes a time where you are the champions, where you need to just turn up and have a right good go, regroup, because I believe Liverpool are much, much better side than Sheffield United. Sheffield United have lost 20 games this season.
By far, lad,
20 games. I mean, we've had that card marked in the last 4 times we played them. We just about beat them, I know. But we have to have some sort of energy and enthusiasm going into this game that we're going to win. And that week off gets the players prepped, gets them focused, gets them
injured.
Yeah, gets them injured. Yeah. Well, it looks like Alisson might play, but we don't know that for definitely. You know, he might want to. We don't know.
If he doesn't want to play, I'm cool with that.
Yeah,
like, we're all cool
so
with
am I.
that, obviously.
But we don't know, and if he does, will he be? How will his headspace be? But it's a huge game, lads. And this week, like, I mean, then it's Chelsea, it's Fulham. We got to win this. This has to be 3 points. I think it will be a tough game, and I think Sheffield will do what all the other teams done. They know the frustrators. They're absolutely fighting for their lives, even though I think they will still finish bottom. It's a game. I don't see anything else than a Liverpool win this game. I don't know how it will happen.
That's
just
confident,
win.
man.
I do think there's something just telling me this squad, this team, something will just happen for us. I'm not saying we'll get top 4 or whatever, or we're gonna. I just believe something's gonna happen. I just can't see us going through these last 13 games laboured. Them performances, I don't think can get any worse. I just don't think
like
it's
this for a while.
telling me. It has been too
like
long.
Since COVID started, basically.
This has been
too long.
The first third of the season, boys. We were pulling it out the bag still. We were still doing well.
Yeah.
We might have lost that Villa game and that, but we were still managing to get results. But this second third of the season is just being... it's no one's fault.
Listen,
it's just we felt
apparently, before COVID, we'd won 97% of our games that season. Post-COVID, we've won 47%. So,
massive drop
off. Since last... Really, lads, it's been a year. Really. It's been a year because I can think back to this time last year. I think a year ago, I was in Madrid, saw us lose 1-0 to Atletico. Then I went to Chelsea, saw us lose there. 2 cups we were out of, really. Lost to Atletico again.
Lost to Watford.
All of those things probably happened the end of last Feb to the end of May. So really, we've only won less than half of our games in a year.
Because our fans aren't
which
there,
is mental.
The fans,
of course, bro. But this is just the facts.
The reason why they've done so well is they fed off the energy of having to do well for so many years. So we haven't won the Premier League and we haven't won the Champions League for ages. And this team used that energy to turn it around and win it. They actually used that energy well. But now that energy's not there anymore because the fans aren't there. So how are they supposed to utilise any of the atmosphere or anything else? That's what that team was built off, bro. It's built on that. So just feel like without that, that's what we've been missing this last 12 months without the fans. It's just not had that responsibility and that accountability for the players, if you get what I mean. Because they don't hear us anymore. They can't hear us because we're not there. It's not their fault. Like this is just a mad situation, lad. Mad circumstance.
The argument back to that is the fact that not anyone's got home fans.
I know
so
that, but I know.
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Not having a spine the team, obviously, and it goes back to the old saying of defences win your league titles. If you have 19 centre backs playing and missing the spine of your team in midfielders like Fabinho, Henderson, there's been so many rotation and players being in, then they're out, having to come off injured. It's going to have a massive impact on us, and that's been probably our biggest thing that's happened this season. That's been the big kick in the teeth for us. But yeah, look, I do agree with Doyle, the fans, but I also take your point, Alex. It's like that for every other team, and but I think at the times like with the players and their siblings are dying, they need the fans just more than ever. Especially Jurgen, he's an emotional man. That's what he lives on. That's what he's always got through, them emotions and fans being there. So,
just before we do move on to the next game, let's try and throw together a lineup prediction. I know you guys watching now would like to see that, and equally send in your lineup predictions for Sunday night's game at Sheffield United Stadium, a place where, of course, we won 1-0 there last season. I think the time that we went there before that was 2006-07 season, and Robbie Fowler scored a penalty on the first day, which was a dive, if anyone remembers that.
The yellow jersey
we were wearing. Yellow kit.
I remember being out that day from early watching. It was an early kickoff, and Gonzalez was playing, and it's big hype around him.
Gonzalez,
Craig
Bellamy,
I might have taken a bit of a blackout after watching that day, and it was a bit too many drinks after that. Drown me
Well,
sorrows.
drink responsibly, guys. If you are overage, then you know you
That's a
shouldn't
long
abuse
time
alcohol.
ago as well, you know.
But yeah, different life, different person now, aren't you, Dad? Right. This is the big one then. If we are doing the lineup prediction, who's in goal? Does Klopp
Ali
give
or Kelly?
Alisson some time to maybe? I mean, I was going to say give him some time, but it's not like he can go back to Brazil, is it? Really?
That's the point, lad.
Maybe actually the best thing could be just to get in the game.
We don't know, lad. We don't know what's in his head.
We don't know. We don't know.
We can't
what's
make
in
that
his head.
decision for him. So what we'll say is we want Alisson to start if he can. And if he needs a break, lad, then Kelly will start, and that's all there is to it, lad.
Well, here's a good point Joe Brady makes. Kelleher is injured, so if Alisson doesn't play, it's Adrian in goal. I mean, fuck me, I'd rather I go in goal. Yeah, I'd rather an injured Irish Casillas than Adrian.
Why is Kelly injured, lad?
Adrian
Why is he
Because
injured?
it's Liverpool. It's Liverpool, lad.
What is that? Right. What is...
Just give him the fucking
like a keeper that's only played a couple of games this season is injured.
There's like food that makes them brittle or something. Like, do you need more calcium, lads? More calcium.
Yeah, Martin Skirtle left it behind his nails and bolts in the fridge, and I think they've all just been eating them. All right, in goal then. Obviously, we hope it's Alisson because he is our best goalkeeper. But at the same time, everyone's aware of what happened, so we'll leave that one unanswered for at the minute. Right back, Trent. Centre backs. This is a big one though, fellas. Who do we finally go with?
Is Fab back?
Fab is not back. But
then it's gonna have to be Nat and Kabak. Simple as that, lad. There's no one else.
Not Ben Davis. You don't want to see him come in yet?
Maybe, lads. Yeah, go ahead.
That's what Jamie Lane.
It literally doesn't matter, lad. Whoever we put on there, it doesn't matter. We just need to put a human body in that position, and that's what we're gonna do. I feel like Nat Phillips has a bit more experience, so maybe keep Nat Phillips as the starter now and bring on Kabak and Davis alternatively. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so, but I also think Davis, he's played in a very physical and demanding league in the Championship. He's played a couple of 100 games in that league, so he'll know going into Liverpool. He hasn't been thrown in at the deep end as such because he's had a couple of training sessions with them now. He's had a slight muscle injury. He's back now. He will know going in there the job he can do and what the expectations are. Hence why he moved to Liverpool as well. But I don't know. I wouldn't bank against seeing Davis either. He's a left-sided centre back.
That's it.
Kabak is right. I mean. So I'd probably go with him. Just what we got to lose, lads. We need to change something. We could play him in there, and he could be. I'm not going to say like a Van Dijk, but he could be brilliant. You know what I mean? We could say, Jesus, he's a really good centre back. On his performance on the day, but Kabak, or maybe Phillips and Davis, because we know Phillips has been brilliant. Kabak seems okay. He played well against Leipzig, but a bit slow, I think, from what I've seen. So I don't know. I'd go with Phillips and Davis. Here
goes with Kabak and Davis. I'm actually going to put my neck on the line here and say, I think this game, it has to be Davis and Phillips. I just think if you are going to put a pairing together out of the three that we have available, I would prefer at this stage for it to be Phillips, who has played for us a lot this season. Well, not a lot, maybe 10 games, but it's more than Van Dijk's played. And I'd love to see Ben Davis play because he has been playing all season. So this is actually probably the first time this season that he's not played. And he's ready to go, I think. So I'm going to put my neck on the line. That's my centre-back pairing. Obviously, Robbo on the left. In midfield, some names that we can throw into the mix: Ginny, Curtis, Fab, and maybe if he recovers. You've obviously still got the Ox knocking around. I mean, he's not really a hot topic right now anymore. Thiago, of course. Out of those names, what three would you go with in the middle? And is this a game where you stick to a 4-4-3? Sorry, a 4-3-3?
Thiago, Gini, Kate. That's it, lads.
If we had Fabinho, I'd love to see a midfield three, and I think we might have even said on this show before
Fab in the midfield.
Of Fabinho, Thiago, and Keita, but I think it's going to be Gini, Thiago, Keita, or Jones.
If Fab's fit, he's going in centre back. That's where they put him.
We need changes in midfield. Of late, the midfield, it just the last game, particularly Gini, was poor.
Yeah, I
mean,
agree.
with fresh legs in there, someone a bit more creative, something different, not as pedestrianised. We do need to change things up. Could do, yeah, could do. But...
Yeah, David here says Fab not back yet, and of course, Jamie Lane's right in saying that we will find out tomorrow in Klopp's press conference. I believe it's 1:00 his press conference, so we'll keep an eye out for any quotes there. We always seem to get them Friday afternoon. We get an idea of who's going to be in and out for the weekend, so keep an eye on the socials. And then up front, it's the three boys. I can't really say anything else. It's the three boys, and hopefully we've got something off the bench to spark something. Every player that we've got rid of recently seems to be doing really well at their other clubs. So it's wild. It's a crazy season. Things are happening that we can't control, and it's just mental every day. But let's do a score prediction before we move on. We've got 2 more games, lads, so we'll quickly move through these. But I'm going to go with a 3-1 away win for Liverpool. This has to be a win for us.
2-1.
2-1 to Liverpool. Darren?
2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 to Liverpool as well. Yuvraj putting out the obvious there. Our midfield will, of course, now be weaker without Henderson. The next game we're going to speak about is this bad boy, Leicester versus Arsenal. Arsenal just now have put out Benfica in the round of 32. They scraped a 3-2 win. In the last minute, Aubameyang scored. I think he scored a hat-trick in the game. They're going to be buzzing. They're into the round of 16. But obviously a big game for them at the weekend. Leicester flying, really. And if we look at the form table, they are really, them and maybe Chelsea and City are the form teams right now. 1 loss in 5. They're sitting on 49 points in 3rd. And then Arsenal down in 11th, lost 11 games this season, only won 10. 3 defeats in 5. Pressure's really on Arteta in the league anyway. Might get a bit more time after this result tonight. But quickly then, Doyle, score prediction for this one.
I see Leicester are the better team at the moment, and they're just going to be too overwhelming for Arsenal. Maddison, Vardy, and that defensive grid. Yeah, Barnes is boss as well. So I'll say a 3-1, lads.
3-1 to Leicester. Another defeat, maybe the 12th one of the season. Is it, Darren, for Arsenal?
I'm going to be a bit controversial, and why I'm going to be is because I remember when Project Restart happened at the end of last season, Leicester dropped off a lot. I was very surprised. I know they've injuries, but they've injuries now. I'm going to go for Arsenal 2-1. And why? Because I want Leicester to just drop a couple of points. I think it makes it even more competitive. Arsenal, as you said, have qualified. Arsenal are a strange team. They were struggling, and there was talk of relegation and Arteta losing his job. Then they spanked Chelsea at home. Was it 3-0 or 3-1? They played really well. And then they went on a good run of winning games. And last week against City, okay, they were beaten 1-0. City were in 3rd gear. It was very comfortable for City. They deserved it. But I still think Arsenal, like when you look at the team they have, they're better than the position they're in. I know defensively being weak this season. I heard Aubameyang's back tonight. My mate texted me, he's an Arsenal fan. I didn't say it, but he just texted me, Obbit is back and a few fiery things. So I just
a couple goals disallowed as well.
It's a very strange season, and I think this weekend there will be more upsets. And if there's a game that looks like an upset, I'm gonna be mad saying this, but I think Arsenal beat Leicester 2-1.
Do you know what? I'm going to go with you. Whether I actually think it's going to happen compared to what I want to happen are 2 different things. Obviously, from a Liverpool standpoint, we want Arsenal to win this one. We definitely need to be clawing back Leicester. And if Arsenal do win, then this would put them into a nice bit of form before we play them, actually, on April 3rd, I think it is, at the Emirates. So an interesting one there. I'm going 2-1 as well. Let us know what your thoughts are for this one, the last game that we're going to preview now. Manchester City versus West Ham. Again, 2 of the form teams in the league. Man City, obviously, the form team. West Ham in 4, 3 wins in 5, 45 points for them. Is this one going to be as straightforward, Doyle, as people think it might be?
Yeah. City.
Fair enough.
Mad. Simple as that, lad. City are mad. See when West Ham played against us, how they flapped, lad, and we're not even great at the moment. Yeah. They'll do the same against City, and City will just have them off, lad. City are incredible. Simple as that. It'll be 3-0.
3-0 to Man City at home. Darren, obviously, Man City have really just been winning every single game. The last 19 of them. Is there any chance that West Ham could maybe break that run and put them a few points lower?
Well, West Ham have been really good this season, probably a punch above their weight. This is coming to the latter end of the season now where we'll see how good they are. I think this is going to be a tight one because West Ham are good defensively as well. Similar to Burnley, probably they don't concede a whole lot of goals. You look back in the games. But I think Man City 2-1. I think this would be harder than we think for City. But I don't see that when a City win. I'll go for 2-1 because West Ham are doing well too.
They are. I'm going to go 3-1 the City, which will really just take them clear. And it's kind of almost getting to the point, maybe in 5 or 6 games, where you are kind of looking at the numbers to see how many wins away they are from, unfortunately, taking that title away from us. But that has been Kop to Bottom. Doyle, Darren, the Double D partnership. I'll see you both for your own individual fan cams on Sunday night after the game, which kicks off at the Sheffield United. What's their stadium called again?
Bramall Lane.
Bramall Lane, of course it is. 7:15 kickoff at Bramall Lane. We'll be on the fan cams from 9:15. Let us know in the comments as well, guys, if you are preferring the individual fan cams that we're doing now. Obviously, we've been used to doing the post-match reaction show, haven't we, guys? So a bit different, but it's kind of going back to the roots of obviously speaking to everyone individually like we would do if we were outside Anfield. So we're going to carry on. David says, right there, Alex. Jamie Lane, take care of the lads. Thanks, lads. AGT, love seeing you on Sky. When are you going to be back on? When they want me back on, mate. I'll go on whenever, to be honest. And Darren and Doyle, you can follow them both in the description to this video. Please, if you haven't already, give us a subscription, like and comment. And please have a thought tonight for Alisson Becker and his family as we now remember the life of José Becker.